All right, pretty excited to be here in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia for the first time for a PropTech event. I'm the founder of PropTech Buzz, so this makes me really excited. And an honor and privilege to be moderating this panel with some esteemed guests today. Some of them I have known as friends. And on a very important topic, which is how to have more resilience in real estate development with the help of technology. So we have the panelists anyways on the screen, and what I'm going to do is we had some changes in the panel. So what I'm going to do is I'll skip their introductions, and I will straight away join into the meat of the things, which is resilience in real estate development. But before we start into the meatier things, we would like to set some context and understand what our esteemed panelists think resilience in real estate development is. So let's begin with that. So maybe Faisal, do you want to let the audience know what resilience in real estate development means for you?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for all audience. Thank you for you, Rabi, and the consequence panelist. I think this is a very important subject. We all know that real estate overall is embedded in all of our life. So it's in our homes, it's in our where we work, where we go, everywhere. And get to know that usually the real estate is not that something easy or simple. So when you plan to build your home, or you buy even your home, or when you work or whatever, those things usually considered we always think it's a heavy decisions, it's taking longer time, it's take a lot. So technology overall in our life is making things different. It's making everything simple. So this is happening across all of our life, all the lifestyle we are living, all the sectors overall we are living at. And when this came again within the real estate, this made it also should be resilient. So this to be simplify all the real estate, I would say, steps within their journey. So either in the beginning, either in the middle, or in the end of it, or even how you live within those real estate. So resilience of the PropTech is important to simplify and minimize the impact of the big decisions of the real estate overall in your life, and how big it's impacting our real life. Technology today is implemented in every angle of our life. Even the expectation of people are now become very high from a technology perspective. That's where they are looking for technology to simplify their life, and the real estate is one of the main factors on our life, across all our life, from we wake up until we sleep again.
Good. Matt, what is resilience for you?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you to the organizers for inviting me here. Thank you to the organizers for inviting me here, and also thank you to the fellow speakers on this panel. I think I would agree with what you're saying, in that resilience is going with the direction that real estate is going in, which is to make lives more comfortable. And I think that's one of two shifts that we're seeing, which is really a structural shift. What's happening to residential, what's happening to communities, what's happening to mixed use. These are sort of structural shifts in the way that people are living their lives. I think that's really the one thing that is very clear in its direction. I think the second shift is a cyclical shift. The global economy, of course, interest rates are high at the moment. These are a typical cycle that real estate goes through. I think the most resilient portfolios are the ones that can adapt and remain robust with respect to both of those shifts. So I think that's what being resilient really is.
Thank you. Peter, do you want to add something to that?
Thank you to the organizer, and especially for the sponsors. And I think it's one of the best conferences ever I have seen. I mean, I've never been in Europe, in London, right? But I'm now in 10 years in PropTech, and I really like this conference. You are serious about this, and I like it really much. So the venue is great, food is great, hotel is great, everything. So thank you for that. About resilience, right? Well, all of us know that our real estate have a cycle. That means something changed. We had COVID 2 years ago, so everybody invested in hotels was not that happy. I think 2 years later everybody is happy because the prices went up, prices of the rates, the rooms. There's also the internet is coming and reflecting very on the shopping, how we shop. Pandemic also changed how we work. We work at home more than before. The revelation or the internet is more coming up. You don't need to travel anymore that much. So I don't want to speak alone here on the conference. This is why I want to give you up, but we are a little bit longer in the panel, right?
Sure. Yeah. So primarily when we talk about resilience in real estate development, it's mostly they talk about climate resilience, right? Especially how do you ensure that your buildings and your properties are resistant to any of the climate changes? But would you see there are other forms of resilience? You talked about other structural resilience, Matt, which is also there. But other than that, do you see that there are other forms of resilience that real estate development bodies or builders need to take care of?
Well, yeah, I mean, sustainability for sure is a big one. I think that's just part of the sort of the structural shift. You know, in Europe, for example, there are green premiums on assets. That's not really sort of negotiated on too much. So the solutions that are successful, at least the ones we're seeing, are the ones that can really prove the value, the net value increase on an asset upon their implementation. So when landlords, developers, a lot of time it's still landlords who are actually now retrofitting older buildings. They're doing it with decarbonization in mind. They're also doing it with, well, you know, let's say you take a commercial building. People don't work in the way that they used to. So that, you know, they're thinking about how are people going to be working in the next 5 years, and what information can we take on today that's going to help us with our decision on new investments over the next 5 years. So, you know, it's really changing the way people are just living their lives. Decarbonization is, of course, a huge component. And I think remaining nimble with actually not knowing exactly how that's going to play out and collecting data. I think that's what is, you know, can make a real estate investment really strong.
Yeah, Peter?
Well, I've been last year in New York, and they have 45 million square meters only on offices on Manhattan. And there you see that nearly 20% of these offices are empty. So that means big companies going in modern buildings, even on the best areas like Broadway and something like this, there's empty, it's like nothing happens there anymore. So that means the climate transforming will happen. And New York or the US most of the time stay a little bit further before what's happened in the other area. And for sure we have two reasons why it happens this. One is the ESG, climate, sustainability. That's what we're talking about the whole day today. And the second thing is home office and for sure the digital conferences. So that means companies trying to bring the people back on the offices, like the huge tech companies. We're not talking about General Electric or other ones. No, we're talking about the tech companies where we usually should think that the people are, oh, no, stay in the office. No, it doesn't work. Because 80% of the innovation happens in the office. And this is what the people need to understand, that a company having people working not in the office, they are usually the AI can do a lot of things what the people doing at home, you know.
Right.
I'm not talking about every company, but especially if the tech company is telling us come back to the office, then we know exactly what's happened. And that is why I'm not invested in the moment in real estate, office real estate. I'm really lucky. And this is just want to say.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Abdul.
I will add something to gentlemen here that as a PropTech today application across the world, we have around 40% being used in of them are being used in the property, especially the commercial, which including offices, others. Those are having also big impact on other things than the climate, where you have impact on the cost of having those buildings, on the running costs, on customer experience or user experience. This is very important, will have impact to their life. On the other hand, between 35% to 40% from the PropTech implementation across the world is within the residential world. When you speak on residential, you speak about very highly resilience application, will help their life, will simplify their life, will enhance their quality of life within this property. So here, what we can see clear that the PropTech is impacting the human across all of their real estate journey, even in their residential, even in their commercial when they go, let's say, to malls or others or whatever entertainment, if they go to work, if that, today you can see it. This is also will add clear that today the market is $36.5 billion in the PropTech worldwide, and this is expected to grow in the coming 8 years to around $90 billion. So it's having a big impact on that, and we can see clear that today, as per the latest statistic, 90% from the occupier are willing to pay more to get PropTech implementation within their real estate.
Thank you, Faisal. So we covered two aspects. We understood, we set the ground, we understood what resilience in real estate development is. We understood what are the types of resilience. Now, Faisal, you are a developer and you have worked, Peter, with a lot of buildings and constructions. What are the ways to mitigate resilience in the planning stage of real estate development?
Today the journey of the real estate developer is starting from the idea and the financial plans for it and the visibility studies, blah, blah, blah. So those things are there is impact on the PropTech on it, especially on the designing phase, especially on having the best technology and the best implementation for PropTech that's way minimize the CapEx, the OpEx, utilizing the I would say the natural power and others and utilization. So you have a big impact of the PropTech in the beginning of the stage of the development journey. And then you switch it to PropTech implementation on the development, where this will have an impact on selling this real estate. So as we said, 90% of people willing to pay more to get new PropTech implementation. So, and this is will happen. And the third will be on minimizing the cost of the OpEx, on running cost of that. And next we'll have the journey or enhancing the I would say user journey within this property and enhancing quality of life for them. So across the journey of the real estate development, from beginning to the end, PropTech is adding a lot in each part of it. Keep in mind one thing: you still can take PropTech outside and you go with running this deployment project as per the previous way and go with it with zero technology across. You will not have any customer interested in your new property of that.
Peter, do you want to you want to add? What can you do to mitigate resilience?
Well, we are one of our companies are Humboldt Capture. We do digital twins. That means you can, in a pandemic, you can do it far away. You can do management of your assets. So digital twins, you don't need to measure anything anymore. You don't need to go there. So for asset management, redevelopment, data room, second life circle, you need digital twins, I think. I think in 10 years, every huge asset will have a digital twin. Then you can give it to your engineer, you can give it to your architect, you can give it to your bank, your asset management can work on this, so you can bring your real estate on a different level, and all of this we have to do. I mean, this is all about 2030, right? And so you don't need to do it, but your competitor who is doing that, he will be quicker, better, with less people.
Nice. So Matt, I have a special question for you. What is the role of PropTech to manage resilience, use of technology? Okay, because you are at by virtue of building PropTech Connect, you are at the center of this ecosystem. So I would like to know what's the role of PropTech for managing resilience.
Well, interestingly, I was actually speaking to Faisal's colleagues just earlier today, and they were telling me some exciting things about the malls, the retail that you guys have. And we were talking about, actually which solutions really can do the job, which ones can just deliver a return. And even to your point on the planning and the full life cycle, yes. I think data has never been more valuable. So data, even given the potential ambiguity in terms of the direction of the industry, it is so valuable. But there are fantastic solutions. IREMS, Yardi, which I know you guys work with. Just having access to know exactly what is going on these with these assets. Yes, you can find out how to cut costs, but you can also do something else which is pretty special. You can uncover unknown unknowns. Something you didn't even know was possible, and you didn't even know was happening. You're really uncovering a lot, and that's going to allow investors to make sort of better decisions going forwards, and that's actually going to really improve, I guess, OPEX and margin on these. So I think that's the first thing. The second thing is, we know the cost of construction is currently high. I think in Germany it's insanely high. But for that same reason, data is still so valuable, because if you are going into a planning, you want to get it right. You don't want to feel like you're in a hit or miss situation. You really want to get it right. And I think those that are getting it right seem to be really successful.
Excellent. Peter, do you want to add the role of PropTech for managing resilience?
Pardon?
The role of PropTech for managing resilience?
Well, I mean, for managing your real estate is PropTech just necessary, I think. I mean, this is if you have a lack of workers, like we have in Germany, why you're not using the technology, I mean, even AI and all the things. I mean, it's just great. So PropTech now 10 years really help to change the industry. Innovation in real estate is the most important thing, I think, for this, because we have to transform all our assets to a second level, I mean, the heat here in Saudi Arabia and other regions. We have more hurricanes, even in Germany we have now some kind of hurricanes. And for sure we have to bring our assets forward, and PropTech for sure is necessary to get data. Data is all about data, That's to make the right decisions, you know. I mean, some people are really doing decisions like in the last century on Excel lists. They don't see anything, you know. I mean, if you have a digital twin of an asset in Australia owned by a company from Saudi Arabia, you can walk through and can do really decisions to bringing your office building to apartments. You don't need to travel to Australia in that case, you know. So, I mean, to make better decisions, PropTech for sure is necessary. You can do it by paper, like in the last century, but you will not stay on the market that long, or your competitor will quicker, and you just thinking what they are doing, why they are so good now.
Got it. But do you want to add anything, Faisal, to that?
Yeah. See, it's clear PropTech will add much on all. Managing the property today will have an impact on the customer direct. So either the tenant or the owners or will have a direct impact on them. Will have a direct impact on the OPEX cost. And this is very important, as you mentioned. It's really costing amount of money on running those properties as you pay. And will have an impact on their journey and life on it, especially if you are dealing with many visitors or others. So this will help on that. Data, 100%. Data is treasure. Always data is treasure. So linking the data with the proper system, with the new technology and new PropTech, especially if you include the AI and others, you will have, I would say, a tool that can help you in minimizing much. So this will have a big impact on those properties, especially as much as you go to have multiple users on those properties. So if you go to the big malls, if you go to the place where they have an entertainment and others, so as big as you have visitors, as big as you will have a bigger impact on the PropTech implementation, that will help in minimizing the cost, enhancing the customer experience, and benefiting overall quality of service provided.
Peter, you wanted to add more to that, right?
Yes, I just want to say data is something really nice, you know. But out of this data, you have to make some information, and out of this data, you have to make out of this information, you have to make new data, and with this data, maybe you have to do decisions. And after these decisions, you have new data, and then you have, you know, it's a cycle. It's not starting with, you know, I mean, it's always important to analyze the data with somebody who understands data, you know. And if you have this information, even people don't know anything about this, this data, they can make better decisions. And that's the point, you know. Data is just, you know, you need to know what you're doing with the data.
Got it. Excellent. Also, I'm aware that there are certain geographies that are better in managing a better resilient infrastructure, and then there are some that are not. Do you have a sense, maybe Peter, you mentioned to me the other day, how some geographies are better equipped and more resilient than others? Do you want to shed some light on the geographical distribution of how they manage resilience? Say Japan is much better than in managing climate resilience than some other countries, right? So do you want to shed some more light there?
Yes, this is exactly. You know, I mean, every region have certain kind of problems. You know, maybe in the Netherlands they have too much water, and in Japan for sure they have too much earthquake. Like Taiwan, they have every day an earthquake. You know, other people having too much heat, like here. You know, so for sure there are some specialists. You know, I mean, the Japanese, they know for sure what's happened the last 300 years. What you're doing against earthquake, you know. For us in Germany, it's now just a bit new that we have more than 40 degrees in the summer. So that means the apartment on the top of the roof, it was before very nice to sell, but now it's just too warm, let's say for 4 weeks, you know. And if you don't have air condition there, usually we don't have that much air condition in Germany, maybe surprising here, but you can't sell it anymore. So that means depends. And for sure the people in Netherlands, they know exactly if the water is coming up 2 meters, half of the Netherlands don't exist anymore.
Right.
So this is why we have actually our international headquarter of Humboldt Capture in the Netherlands, because if you in the Netherlands and you want to rent an old apartment, old office building, and you not have some kind of sustainability certificate, you can't rent it anymore. So they are really serious about these things, you know. We've been talking, Matej, that everybody have to do something. But in the Netherlands, they are just serious. They say, okay, you have this level of climate certificate or not. If not, you can't rent it anymore. So this is where the real estate industry is really waking up. Not if they having maybe to pay 2% more because of something, you know, like CO2 tax or something, you know. This is, they just bring it in the pricing, you know. So, but if you not can rent this building anymore, then everybody's awake. And this is why we are in the Netherlands, because they understand this more. What's the future of the real estate in that case?
I just want to add, I think what's very interesting, not only from just a climate disaster standpoint, but also looking regionally, I think a lot of people in this room might be surprised to know that whenever you speak to any European investor, European technology solution, whenever you mention to them, whenever you even mention to them Saudi Arabia, all of their ears perk up. Everybody is interested in the opportunity over here. Not so much in some other countries. I don't want to talk badly on any other countries, but you know, sometimes people, when you talk about new developments in some countries, the excitement just isn't there. I think, you know, Saudi Arabia actually has quite a, it sort of feels globally, I don't know if you guys also feel the same thing, but it feels sort of like it's your time to shine a little bit. And when foreign investors, when you're talking to them, they're thinking about opportunities where they can see a lot of growth. And I think, you know, in the Middle East, but I would imagine even globally, the relative growth for asset value, for technology companies that might be looking at this region because they want to partner with you guys and a lot of the other developers. I do think it's at a very exciting time. So actually, in terms of regions and countries, I think actually here is probably one of the most exciting.
Yeah, Faisal, do you want to give a context of Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
How's the resilience?
And I think on that, so if you allow me, just on the previous question, it's geographic is yes there, but I think most of that is about the type of property. So the type of property, there is some type of properties that will have a bigger utilization of PropTech and others are less. So taking an example, I think also if you see here in Saudi Arabia, where today, as mentioned, across all the day, Saudi Arabia become now one of the biggest construction lands in the world. The type of project that we have here, starting by NEOM, where we are building something different. Nobody's having an expectation or imagination what's the NEOM is going to happen. If you speak about Qiddiya, the same, which will be world #1 entertainment area. Dir'iyah, which is one of the, I would say, traditional places, will be one of the top. Sport Boulevard, the longest and the top sport boulevard across the world. King Salman Park, the biggest city park in the world. So all those type of projects, those giga projects, by meaning of giga or multi-giga, or I cannot name it, those all projects, they are building it on the top of what people reach across the world. So the implementation of PropTech here will be whatever we expect and even more much. Why I'm saying that? Because all of them, they are starting from where people end, not from where the people start. So on those giga projects, we are expecting things more and more, and we can see today the projects plans and all are having a big plans for the PropTech overall, starting from the first, I would say, page of these plans up to the implementation, which some of them already يعني we can see a life on part of those. So those giga projects that we have, starting by Neom and others, I'm expecting those will be a place where you will see much the implementation and the utilization and the benefits out of PropTech applications.
Excellent. Well, this brings us to the end of this conversation, but then I want to wrap this up with some last thoughts from each of you. How do you summarize the topic of resilience before we wrap this up? Maybe we can start from Peter and then.
Summarize the resilience.
Yes. So just summarize your thoughts about this conversation. What are your last thoughts on this topic?
Well, I think first we need to have data. And with this data, we need to make information out of this. And then we have to look around the globe who has the better resolutions for that. And then we have to act. The most important thing is we have to act, and not on the end of the day. We have to do it now, because we've been talking too long about what we want to do, what we have to do, and things like this. The thing is, really, we all have to act local, and we also need to call the other ones in other countries every day and tell them you have to do something too. Because the climate is something what happens around the world. And we Germans sometimes think if we changing everything and bringing our industry down to zero, then this happens something in the world. No, we have only 2%. So I can only say act now, and you will see that your real estate getting more world, because people will move like in the States. In that ASG conform buildings, they have to. Some have to, you know. And if you want to see that, fly to New York. Look on the Broadway, one of the best areas ever the last 150 years. But now there's nothing. There happens no offices anymore. They have to transform, and this would be a very good apartments. But if I can only one sentence, a summary, act now.
Excellent. Matt?
So how to summarize? I think it comes down to two main aspects. 100% agree with Peter in that data is sort of like the bedrock that is going to allow decisions to be made. And I think on a slightly more tangible level, I think real estate is going to be a lot more of a customer-focused product. So having a deeper understanding of what a customer is wanting, I think those two in combination, it's really going to make developers, solution providers, entrepreneurs more resilient.
All right. Faisal?
I will start by my last word, which is customer expectation. I think this is very, very important. Here it's more about technology, and technology mainly working on what's customer expectation, how they can simplify their life, how can they make their life better quality, better lifestyle overall. So here is where technology will come. Technology always will simplify your life, making things easier than. And real estate is across our life. It's in our homes, our offices, our places of entertainment, everywhere. Airports, blah, 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 from all, you will have always real estate. So technology linked with the real estate to make customer expectation as they want and even better. Additional to that, it's where they can add benefits, because as you know, real estate is not that easy to be I would say simple for the journey of it's very long. However, the technology, when it's embedded within it, will make things better, will make things faster, easier, simplify it much to the user, and give it at the end better quality for the end user. So that's where I think technology will add much on the real estate.
Well, that's a wrap. Thank you for your insightful conversation here.
Thanks to you.
Well appreciated.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. Thank you.